So here's the problem. If you Google CD Baby, or if you Google Symphonic or DistroKid, or if you just Google how to pick a digital distributor, you never really get a straight answer, because you find people who have big problems with CD Baby, and then you find people who have big problems with Symphonic or DistroKid. But then you see people who say that I've had good experiences with those distributors. You have friends who've used all of them, and some of them, none of them. It's just really confusing. So I want to equip you with just 5 things to keep in mind when you are choosing a digital distributor for your music. Lately, I've been using LANDR, so check them out. You can get a discount coupon if you click the link in the description below. LANDR is great because not only do they offer digital distribution, also offer an easy way to do cover songs. They have online mastering, and then a bunch of cool plugins that come with your membership as well. The first question you really have to ask is, are they reputable? And there's an easy way to figure that out. I'll put a link in the description below, but there's a website that you can go to. It's actually run by Spotify. If you Google Spotify preferred distributors, just Google Spotify preferred distributors, there's this like partner directory or preferred partners that will pop up. It's a webpage by Spotify that lists all of the digital distributors, and it kind of lists them in order of like the ones that are preferred or kind of deemed to be authentic and really good in Spotify's eyes. And so obviously there's some certain problems. It's not perfect system, but at least if you're like checking out a free distributor that no one's ever heard of before, you can be like, is this legit? Well, I would recommend you just check this list and make sure that your distributor's on this list. Then you know, okay, they've been vetted by at least Spotify. You know, a few years ago, I was tempted by a brand new distributor that had no reputation at all because there was some cool factors that I was interested in. But like I said, they'd never been vetted before. And guess what? It worked well for a couple months until it didn't, and they didn't pay anyone, and it was a disaster. So watch out for that. The second thing to keep in mind is subscription or pay per release. There's 2 ways that distributors operate. So kind of the modern model and the most popular model these days is the subscription model, where you pay a monthly fee or an annual fee, and you essentially get to upload unlimited amounts of music. The older model, and a model that was kind of pioneered by CD Baby and some other companies in the early days before places like DistroKid came along, was a pay per release. So if you have an album coming out, you pay about $35 to release one album. That usually comes with a barcode, or a barcode comes extra. If you're doing an EP or a single, it's maybe a little bit cheaper. Nowadays, it's much more common to see the subscription model. There are also some models that are free, but they're sort of premium. So if you want some of the better features, you have to pay for it. I kind of see the pros and cons of both. The pros of the old model, the pay per release model, which still exists with some distributors, is that you pay once and your music stays up forever, even if it's not making any money, or you paid that $35 20 years ago and that music's still there earning you money. That's a good investment. I say 30 years, but like I have some releases that I uploaded to CD Baby and I paid once, and then they're at least 15 years old. If I was paying a subscription model, even just like $100 a year, I would have paid $1,500 over the past 15 years. So it's something to keep in mind. It's not necessarily a bad model. The other thing with those models is it's mostly all-inclusive, where if you go to the subscription model, you might pick a tier that's pretty affordable, but then you realize that it's missing things like picking your own release day, or having your own copyright tag with your record label in the bottom, or some other cool features that you're interested in. Most people are moving to the subscription model. I don't see a problem with it at all, especially with like a platform like LANDR. One of the cool things about LANDR is it's subscription, but your music doesn't disappear after you end your membership. So like if you end your subscription for whatever reason, the music doesn't come down. I think that's really cool. The third thing to consider is, what features do they offer? So you want to poke around and be like, what tools do they offer me to help me make music and promote music? Some of the things that are important are like direct access to your Spotify for Artists page or your Amazon Artist page. If you don't already have that, they can walk you through that process. Great customer support and quick customer support is really helpful as well. Things like smart links and other promotional tools can be really helpful. Those are things you want to look for. Percentage cuts as well. In most cases, if you're paying a membership fee, they're not going to take anything from you. If you pay per release, maybe they do take a little bit of percentage. Those are things to look at. One of the things, if you use a tool like LANDR, it has like a suite of creative tools as well, like sample packs, plugins that you can use in your DAW. Places like Symphonic have track splits and ways to split the revenue with an artist that you're co-releasing with. Just look through some of those options. Now, let's pause for a second. Some of you might be like, well, what about like some really cool features like having the distributor pitch on my behalf to Spotify or getting me sync opportunities. Well, here's the thing. If you're a brand new artist or you're a brand new record label and you don't have a proven track record of your catalog earning money over several months or several years, it's going to be really hard to land kind of an exclusive deal with a label like Symphonic or CD Baby. There are certain distributors. The Orchard is by application only. Secretly Distribution is by application only. There's a couple platforms out there that offer really cool artist services to get your music in front of people, but they take a significant cut. Not a significant, but they take more than 0%. And also a lot of these are application only. They're not just going to take some new artist that doesn't have a proven track record. They want to work with people that are actually earning money on a monthly basis already with their catalog. Because if they're going to take 10 or 20% from you, they now have a dog in the fight. They have a reason to get your music in front of more listeners and in front of more playlist curators. So if you're having a hard time finding a distributor that will give you those opportunities, it might just be that you're a little bit too early in your music career or your career as a record label. You'll grow to that place. So use a regular distributor now to kind of grow your catalog and to show a proof of income on a monthly basis. That leads me to tip number 4, and that's just run a test release. There's no issue with trying out a bunch of different distributors. Release a single here and a single there and see which one you like better, which one was uploaded quicker, which one was the most frictionless, which platform came with the most cool tools. You can always move a single or an album from one distributor to the next without losing playlist placements and without losing streams. I'm going to do a video about that in the future. I've done it many times before. It's easier than you think. So don't stress about this. Just like test out a release and get to know a couple distributors. Number 5, most importantly, don't overthink it. Like I mentioned, you can change distributors whenever you want. In fact, you probably should. You might grow into a bigger distributor. You might get one of those bigger distributor deals like I mentioned earlier, or you might get a deal that ties in your physical releases with your digital releases. So you're going to grow, you're going to evolve, you're going to change distributors. I've changed distributors many times over the years. I started with CD Baby. I tested out a couple distributors you've never heard of. I've tested out DistroKid once. I've used Symphonic before. I'm over to LANDR right now. I've gotten around. I've gotten around when it comes to distributors. Just don't overthink this process. If you're an artist, worry about making music and then just get it out there however possible. If you're a record label, like I said, you're not married to any one distributor. So don't overthink this process. Don't spend hours and hours Googling. The problem with Googling some of these distributors is you're going to find negative reviews for everyone, and you're going to find positive reviews for everyone. In fact, you'll probably find more negative reviews because everyone that's happy is fine. They're just happy and they're making music and releasing music. It's the negative people who get on there to complain about certain distributors. I know that some are more problematic than others. I don't want to get into that. I just hate anything that gets in the way of artists not making music and record labels not giving that music to music fans. So don't let anything slow you down. I hope you found this helpful. Click the link in the description for more helpful tips on preparing a release and getting a release out to the masses. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment below of what distributor you're using these days.